Hello, everyone. Oh, good start.
Let's get a bit more grounded.
Let's get a bit more uplifting.
I want to talk about something a little bit more serious, and that's video games. So,
I think we should talk about something even more serious, and that's what alcohol is Jamie currently drinking.
That is a superb idea, and so I will go into that.
Oh yes.
So, for you audio listeners, I am now grasping a very old-fashioned, short-looking bottle in my right hand. For those of you watching on YouTube, apologies for the audio description. So this is Braybrook Keller Lager.
Ooh.
It is a proper craft beer. The word craft is thrown around quite a lot, and you have these massive companies who make like tons and tons of beer a day, and they call themselves craft still. This
that's pretty crafty.
You won't even be able to tell on the camera. Oh, you can see it. There's a little crease on the label because this label has clearly been put on by hand. That's how craft we're talking.
That's cool. Did you make this beer by any chance?
No, I did not make this beer. No.
Like in your home?
My cousin actually.
In the bath.
Shout out to my cousin. He's made some beer at home, and it looks bloody delicious. From scratch.
Well, that's a good way of getting through quarantine.
Yeah, he lives in a.
Man,
he's got a great
him,
house. Yeah. He's living with his parents at the moment, and they've got a great house, and they just build stuff and make stuff all the time. I can't really get away with making beer in the flat I'm currently in right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's
Stink
fair.
the place out.
It's not as crafty.
Okay, Jack, what are you drinking?
So yeah, what's the beer like? Oh, okay. We'll go straight into that. I'm going to be a bit different today,
Are
Jamie.
you really?
I'm getting a bit creative with it. I actually am. You think I'm drinking something very standard,
I do.
but I'm actually drinking a banana protein shake. So,
wow.
You know, as are many people, I'm really trying to get in shape now I'm locked in my home. And this was actually your suggestion. I shop at My Protein, not sponsored.
But
it's a great website.
Not sponsored,
that
but if you're listening,
powder.
My Protein, we welcome your sponsorship.
We're very open to it now. Yeah, they're good. They're good protein shakes. They do billions of flavors. I've currently got banana. I've had strawberry in the past, and I'm soon to get chocolate. And they're very delicious. And as you can tell, I've got mad gains as a result of drinking these for the past few months.
Have you really?
So it's all going
I
well.
was going to ask, how big are your biceps on a scale of 1 to 10?
My biceps are absolutely huge. I'm not going to flex them. I'm just going to show my arm limp as an example of how huge my biceps are.
Oh, I can't wait to straddle them after social distancing
listeners
are lessened.
Oh, next year they're going to be huge when I can actually see you again. So the audio listeners, just envision Johnny Bravo. That'll give you a good idea of what I currently look like.
Luckily, the YouTube watchers that'll be edited out. So yeah, they'll never see the embarrassment that is before their screen.
We'll just overlay me with an image of Johnny
I'm
Bravo.
proud of you though, because I haven't, my exercise routine hasn't been great.
It's funny because when you were working, you never needed to exercise because your job was so physical, but now you're furloughed, you're like, oh well.
Yep, I'll have a tummy.
It's probably harder in a flat. We've turned our shed into like a summer house shed kind of thing, into basically a gym, and it's really great.
That is really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. Stay in shape, people. Great way to pass the time in quarantine.
I'm just going to have a quick sip of this Braybrook. I'm not usually a fan of lager.
Yeah, tell us about the taste. Oh.
I did fancy a lager. It tastes good. It tastes
yeah.
It tastes like a European-y. It tastes kind of like a.
It tastes European.
It tastes good. It tastes really good. That's what lager should taste like.
That's good.
I'm really
that's what
impressed
you
with
want.
that. Mm,
There you go. Shout out to Brayburn, was it?
Braybrook, and
Braybrook.
the beer is unpasteurized, unfiltered, and cold matured for 5 weeks. I mean, all lagers cold matured for 5 weeks, but yeah. So
But this one tastes good.
we are going to move on from the pleasantries. I hope you listeners enjoyed the
Yep.
pleasantries, because we are
Yeah.
now going to get onto the heavy stuff. We're going to start talking about some
Ooh.
news. So we've got a few bits of news, some cooler than others. We've got more to talk about in terms of volume of news than last week.
Okay.
But we're not gonna spend too much time on all of these. So well, the
Fair.
first one we can skim right past. So the Xbox Series X logo was I say revealed. It was patented. So I mean, it's out there. I thought it was just the ordinary Xbox logo, but apparently there's now an Xbox Series X logo, which it's just a logo, but it's way more exciting than the PlayStation 5 logo, which is like literally just the word PS5.
PS5, as you would expect. I'm yet to see the Xbox Series X logo. I don't really know if I
I don't like
that.
it. I mean, it's a logo. It looks very serious.
It looks like
It kind of clashes.
it looks like a gym.
It does. Oh my! It does.
It looks like a gym logo.
It really does.
Like the series on its side looks like it says X Fitness.
Yeah. So I think so. I'm.
I don't know
But
why.
I do think it's worth bringing up though. So obviously we've got the actual Xbox console itself has the very tried and tested, the circle with the X on it, and so does the controller.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've got this Series X thing, which isn't on the actual product itself. So is that kind of indicative
Yeah,
of
it's really weird.
the whole because let's remember the name is really bizarre still. Series X, it implies there's more than one. So is this
Yeah.
Series X? Is this going to be the branding that they use for all the different series? So there'll be a Series X, a Series Y, I don't know, and they use that. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. It is weird. It seems like terrible branding at the moment.
They're doing a better job than Sony.
I mean, there's no repetition.
They're doing a better job than Sony.
In what way?
You know nothing about the PlayStation 5. It's just it's called PS5. There's some specs and stuff.
No, yeah. But I just mean in terms of brand recognition.
Oh, sure.
That
sure.
Xbox Series X logo, when is that going to come into play? It's
No,
really
you're right.
bizarre. Yeah, I don't know.
So
I
yeah.
mean, no, I was going to say you could say the same thing about PS5 because they kind of have two logos, but they don't. They just have the PlayStation logo next to PS5. I think that's just how PlayStation branding has always worked.
It's looked like that since PlayStation 3, I think. The original PlayStation 3.
PS2 was sharper.
The original PS3 was the Spider-Man font, and then they changed it to what it is now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. It's very weird. Anyway.
But I'm going to use this.
I don't think we can bore people with that for much longer.
I'm going to use this not very interesting topic to springboard onto a more interesting one, which is the fact that the PlayStation 5 might be having issues in getting enough stock in time for their release due to our good friend Mr. COVID stopping it from happening.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. And
yeah, I can see that being an issue.
there are a few things from different articles. I believe it was Kotaku reported on it first, and they basically they said that they got insider, whatever people talking to them, and they said that there was supposed to be a big, full, fat presentation of the PlayStation 5 already, and they had to postpone it for now. Apparently the release of the controller, the way it was revealed, that was not how it was meant to be. They kind of rushed it out. It was supposed to be revealed alongside the picture of the console and like loads of games and demos and stuff, but that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And now it's looking like
it's a bit worrying.
There might not even be enough consoles. Well, there almost certainly won't be enough consoles to meet demand. So
yeah, I mean, because you know, it kind of makes itself twice as bad, because obviously it's harder to produce these consoles because of the whole, you know, situation the whole world is in. But at the same time, there's probably also more demand because people are just stuck at home with nothing else to spend their money on. I mean, I guess unless people are out of a job, then they're not going to have money to spend on a $500 console.
People will buy it. People will buy the consoles. I do think if there's a shortage, that it'll be sold out. I do believe it'll be sold out still. But what's going to be interesting is if they've cancelled this big launch event. If you look at kind of read between the lines, maybe the reason why is because they had tons of games that they were going to show. Yeah. And now it's looking like they're going to have barely anything to actually bring out on launch day. And so is it even going to be worth buying a next-gen console when it comes out in November? Because chances are the games won't be ready for it, and the ones that are will probably just be ports. Which is...
It is weird. It feels like there's not really a way around it other than just waiting.
No, but it's weird, isn't it? Because even without COVID-19, they were still doing they were still being like mysterious and quiet about it. And then COVID-19 happened, and now it's like, oh well, now we have to still remain mysterious and quiet about it. Oops.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is very mysterious and quiet. I feel like they were just going for that anyway. Just for a bit more, I don't know, more control over all the reveals.
I reckon.
But I feel like they got a bit messed up along the way.
I reckon they'll do an iPhone. Apple, they released the iPhone very soon after announcing it. And people go crazy because they're like, oh my God, it's the new thing. Without actually thinking about
the hype was still big.
So I can see the PlayStation 5 just being like, look at this, and then they will try and sell loads of people on the potential, and then they get the console and they realize, oh, well, we're playing Spider-Man again, and like, you know, God of War and all those. Last of Us 2 probably will be on it for launch, I reckon.
Oh man, yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, there's lots of sick games coming out on PlayStation this year.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully.
I just love PlayStation exclusives so much. I'm such a fanboy.
They are very good.
Yeah.
So that's that thing. Now there's another. We're going to go into more Nintendo territory. For a sec. Have you seen the Super Mario Maker update that was released?
Oh, no, I haven't actually. Tell me more.
So, normally, a Super Mario Maker update, it's quite mundane. They'll add like an item or something, and people who really like the game get really excited by that, which is fine. I understand that. But people who aren't as much, that doesn't make the headlines particularly. This update 3, I think it is the final major update that they're doing. They put that in the trailer.
Yeah.
And they're adding basically everything to make it like the ultimate Mario Maker package.
Like a full Mario game.
So now you can make your own world map.
That's crazy. I'm reading it now.
Insane. So not only can you make your own world map, it's not done in like a because I think a lot of people would have just taken like a generic template where you can just put your levels in a row for people to play, because there's
in like a pre-made map,
there's an appeal to that as well, to be honest. But the fact that they let you actually make the world map is sick. It's such a cool update.
That's a huge update. That feels like sequel worthy, like something they'd put in a sequel.
It definitely feels like DLC.
Now you're not just making levels, you're making games. Man, this is really cool.
Yeah, it's kind of making me.
That's a major.
I want to go back
update.
to Mario Maker now. That's just amazingly cool.
Oh, for sure. That would be great to do videos on if we could be together.
Oh,
that does look really cool though. I'm impressed.
Apologies, viewers. If you thought this was going to be a fun, COVID free chat, then you're obviously wrong.
We are going to constantly remind you of the situation. Oh man, no, that's really solid though. I'm very impressed they did that just in a free update.
The thing is, they added maps, but they also added, as well as that, they added tons of new items. Like, quite a lot.
Yeah, I saw some new enemies and stuff.
And also now you can turn into Super Mario Maker. Sorry, Super Mario Brothers 2 Mario, along with his ability to pick up stuff, which is really cool.
That's pretty damn niche as well.
Yeah, that's my favourite 2D Mario game. I love Super Mario Bros. 2.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I've ever even played Super Mario Bros. 2, to be honest. I've seen a lot about it. It's the weird one.
It is the weird one. And you get to play as all like 4 different characters, and they all have their own unique like skill set.
That's why you like it.
It's really good.
Yeah, to be fair, that was kind of the precursor for a lot of the characters' abilities now. Like, you know, like all of Peach's smash moves pretty much were born in Super Mario 2.
Well, you're right. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
And Daisy.
That's where she got her umbrella.
Not forgetting the fact that Daisy's exactly like Peach.
Daisy is better than Peach in every single way.
Daisy's better than Peach in every single way. And she does not deserve her own unique moveset in Smash, because people would be very upset by that. However, Daisy is objectively the better Peach. She's not even Peach. She's like just a more grounded individual, you know?
She's like, if you try and compare Waluigi to Mario.
That is not quite the comparison I would make.
Daisy is to Peach what Waluigi is to Mario.
Jack, I'm sure we've already had this conversation many times, but I would love a female Wario and Waluigi counterpart to a Daisy and Peach.
Oh, I want them to still have moustaches.
Did you see the interview with Miyamoto when he was asked that question?
No,
he was asked. I think it was like, why? I think it was phrased, why isn't there a Wario and Waluigi girlfriend?
Evil counterpart.
Is there one? Or are you planning to make one? And his reply was, I don't think anyone would like to see that.
And then the internet took to their computers.
Oh, the internet.
Say, yes, we would, please.
The whole Bowsette thing was what the internet can do to ruin a character.
Yeah. He doesn't want Wario. That's so funny. What would they be called? Like Weech and Wazy?
Oh, that is so... No, you can't call them that. It would be like... no, it'd be Beach and Basie, wouldn't it? Because they turn the P upside down.
Yeah, but if you turn the D upside down, it would be
Paisy. Yeah, but they don't do that for Waluigi. He's not
oh yeah, that's
upside
true.
down L Ouija, because there is...
He's not too EG. I want Waluigi.
If it's okay, it'll be like
this is
it'll be like Da Daisy, right? Oh no, yeah, Ba Daisy. But Daisy and beach.
You have to. It's just impronounceable. You have to cut out your tongue. This is our next drawing session video, which reminds me I need to edit that first video that we filmed 6 months ago.
Oh,
So Jamie, what's next in the news?
so next up in the news is an extremely dark and twisted piece of news. It's not that dark and twisted.
Oh God.
But Nintendo Switch accounts were hacked at the weekend.
Oh, that's
No,
not good.
it's pretty dark and twisted. But
Is my banking details safe, Jamie?
no, I'm not even joking.
Oh,
There's no. So
oh,
upon digging into it, it seems like people who are affected are ones who play Fortnite on the Switch. I have no idea
that's all right
why
then.
that's the case,
For me personally.
but it has made me think twice because I am amazed that a hack hasn't happened before. Because Nintendo Switch Online is
Yeah.
so unsecure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not ideal.
So, I guess that's a PSA to all listeners. It actually definitely would be
Don't play
worth.
Fortnite.
Apparently, there's no point changing your password because they didn't find people's passwords. They bypassed that completely,
Yeah,
which is funny, isn't it?
great.
So basically, just
maybe
check
your bank information.
Yeah, for real. Just check your bank. Yeah.
Check your statements. Yeah.
So, this is actually always bleeding in quite well. To bounce off of the whole hacking stuff. The
yeah?
game Valorant.
No.
I won't go too much into detail
Valorant?
because it is quite a well-known game. It's new. It is new.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. As in, I'll go into it. I just don't. I don't want to spend too much time.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's not.
Cool.
I don't know too much about it. But it's basically
Oh, I think I've seen this on Steam. Yeah.
Riot Games, who
Yeah.
who make League of Legends, who are also a
Yeah.
incomprehensibly rich company. You wouldn't believe they are really
Yeah.
rich. Decided like last year
Yeah.
that they were going to branch out and make several new games. Some of them related
Yeah.
to the League of Legends universe, others completely unrelated. One of the ones that was unrelated is Valorant, which is basically their version
Yeah.
of CS:GO with very, very light Overwatch elements sprinkled in.
Okay.
It's kind of a weird one because if you were to look at the numbers of it being downloaded, you'd thought, oh my goodness, it's taken the world by storm. But then if you dig a little bit deeper, they've done stuff like offered people free game codes if they watch a certain amount of streams of Valorant. And so you go on a stream of Valorant, and the other day there was a stream where there's like 500,000 people watching. The game would appear to be incredibly popular, but it's kind of artificially inflated at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, I hadn't
No,
heard of it.
exactly. It's not really our scene though. It is kind of like the League of Legends crowd, which we are not.
Yeah. Yeah. I never really play any of those games. I do recognise it. In fairness, it could be interesting.
Well, it
Looks to be high quality.
the fun news is that it has an anti-cheat installed on it, and
Yeah.
the anti-cheat burrows its way into your the kernels of your CPU, I believe, and it
Yeah.
is always on. When you launch your PC, it starts no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
And Riot Games is owned by Tencent.
Oh, I've heard of
Tencent, the big, scary Chinese company that's eating up loads of different game developers. I don't really want to have something
Oh
like that
man.
that's always on installed. We're talking like it's installed on a level of your PC where administration access can't even get you. It's- Hmm.
Yeah. But Jamie, Riot thought ahead about some of these issues and has already stepped in to let players know that the driver and anti-cheat system
I know.
doesn't do anything other than check
I
for
know.
cheats. They thought ahead. They thought
No,
ahead.
in fairness, they did a fantastic job of that, and everyone believed them. Apparently,
I mean, why? How is that thinking ahead? They just said no,
I know
it's
it's brilliant.
safe. Obviously,
It's
they
brilliant.
would. I'm not saying it's not
Oh, I've seen
safe
so
because
many
but
uh, news outlets saying like, "Guys, it's safe," and it might be, but I do completely object to having a piece of anti cheat always running on my
yeah,
desktop. I object to that.
there's a couple others that work the same
Oh,
as
it's
well.
awful.
Easy anti-cheat and battle eye use kernel drivers, according to this article by
Yeah,
Polygon.
that sucks. That really
Yeah,
sucks.
I mean, I'm always of the assumption that if a company or software or something has some sort of ability to gather my data, they're likely trying to.
Yeah, it's free real
If
estate.
it's like a big company at least, and not some sort of, I don't know, nice little startup thing. Even then, I don't know. It just seems dodgy, doesn't it? It's just not very good peace of mind.
It's dodgy.
At least you're not going to be encountering any cheaters in
It's
Valorant.
dodgy, and it's like drivers are at the same level. So when you install your graphics card drivers or etc etc. So
Mm,
technically you are putting your faith in these companies all the time. But the difference is
mm,
if I've spent £500 or something stupid, GPUs are expensive these days on a graphics card,
mm.
I'm gonna I
Yeah.
want to use it. Whereas this little
Mm,
game has this little anti-cheat software. I'm not a cheater.
mm.
I don't like the idea of having to have this piece of software to keep an eye on me and make sure that I'm not cheating. I never cheat at games. I don't want to have that on my PC.
No, that is a good point. It's kind of like guilty until proven
Yeah,
innocent. Like it's forcing every single person to have this very intrusive thing on your computer at all times for a game you might not even play. It does feel too far. It feels almost kind of like self-inflating how important the game
I
is.
I
Like, oh, this game
well
warrants this.
that's basically their entire pitch for Valorant. Um, the game,
I feel like there's other ways to get around cheating that don't require that sort of extreme.
yeah, it's also there. It's not. It's completely unnecessary. But
Yeah.
the whole game, the whole premise is that it's incredibly basic graphics, so it can run on anything. That's intentional. Um,
Yeah.
it's running on dedicated servers and good ones. Um, they've got they spent like most of the development time on making the hitboxes for the characters perfect. The guns are
Oh
like
man.
it's basically all the money went into making it the most polished competitive game ever. They're trying to make it that anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it makes sense that they're going, well, we want the best anti-cheat, but that's too far. I'm not.
Yeah. It does look good as well.
It looks pretty fun for sure. Yeah, it looks very polished,
Yeah.
which is exactly what they were going for.
Yeah. And the graphics look pretty stylized to make up for the fact that it can be run on anything.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah. I don't know. The whole
Sorry. No,
Sorry,
you
you
go.
go. I was going to say the whole anti-cheat thing. It's kind of made more dodgy by the fact that they were pushing it so
I
hard.
know.
But I guess they're going to do it. That's kind of dumb because obviously they're going to push their game. They've worked hard on it.
Oh, right, games.
Yeah, what were you
who
going to say?
have rolling in billions for just League of Legends. Oh, poor them.
Yeah. It's interesting for sure.
All right.
Was there anything else you wanted to add? Is there any more news?
If you don't mind, I'm just gonna very quickly uh flitter onto there's two more news topics that I've got for you. Um,
Do it.
they're kind
Flitter
of
away.
quick. One of them I will do in a sentence, and we can have a moment of silence. That is
Good.
Venom. Let There Be Carnage, coming in 2021.
Right, I'm taking to Google
I
for that
think I
one.
think I think that requires a moment of silence. Really.
Oh my god. Well, it's the third film in Sony's Marvel
Oh,
universe.
like
How's
you
it the
know how
third?
much you loved
Oh,
Venom.
oh,
Yeah,
Morbius. I forgot
yeah.
about
Morbius is still
Morbius.
coming out.
Jamie, I'm so excited for Morbius. It's a Marvel film from the early 2000s and they're releasing it in
Yeah, it really
2021.
is.
Watch the
I have.
trailer. It's a Marvel film from the early 2000s. It's like a Daredevil-esque Marvel film and it stars Jared Leto as a vampire. Oh, it's gonna be great. You can't tell me otherwise.
Yeah, that looks properly bad. I'll definitely go and see it
And you
with you
know
though.
what? Venom, I'm gonna watch the trailer for Venom if that's
There is
out
no
yet.
trailer.
It looks like it's just a teaser title reveal, yeah. Venom had a terrible script, but it definitely had fun moments.
Let There Be
Um,
Carnage.
so Let There Be
That
Carnage,
is
brilliant.
that is
With see
atrocious.
what what Sony need to do, they need to just go really cheesy. I'm currently looking at a still image of Woody Harrelson in Let There Be Carnage, and it looks like they're going for that. He has big, thick, curly ginger hair, like me, but more like the Mad Hatter in the Batman universe.
I don't even want to Google that. I just want to keep this picture in my head.
Wait, is Tom Hardy confirmed to be in Let There Be
There must be. It's
Carnage?
called Venom.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean Tom Hardy. I meant Tom Holland. Tom Hardy is, of course, in it. No, okay, Tom Holland isn't confirmed to be in it, so ignore that.
And the final
Brilliant.
the final
Next.
piece of news is Crysis Remastered was leaked and then very quickly panic
Mm.
announced straight after.
Oh, yep, I heard about this.
um, so Crysis Remastered, it's coming on all platforms, including Switch, and
Oh man,
yeah,
really?
including Switch, and it
Interesting.
has ray tracing on PC.
Oh, of course it does.
Uh, it's quite yeah, it's pretty cool. Very very weird timing. Can't help but feel like it would have been
Yeah,
better on the PlayStation 5 and Series
yeah.
X, but it's coming.
I no, I had the same thought because I don't know. You'd think they'd want to push it as far as it can possibly go, and
Yeah,
very soon they're going to be able to push it further. It is a
I'm
bit bizarre,
hoping.
but I don't know. Maybe they were just very
I'm
excited.
hoping, given the legacy of the game, I'm hoping
Yeah.
they do actually go all out and they make it stupid
Oh, I'm
on a
sure they
PC.
will.
Um, and then
Yeah.
they inevitably release the PlayStation 5 version like next year, because
Yeah, I can definitely see them doing that.
it'd be so disappointing if it just okay. You've seen Kingdom Come, the game.
Yeah.
You've seen how good that game looks. Like that's a good looking
Yeah.
game. That runs on the latest
Yeah.
CryEngine, which CryEngine 5, I think. Which is what obviously Crytek make the CryEngine and Crytek make Crysis.
Yeah.
So the Crysis will almost definitely run on the same engine as Kingdom Come,
Yeah.
which would be if they can properly make it look as good as what I think Kingdom Come looks like. That'd be sick, and that ran like horrendously on consoles, because it also ran horrendously
Yeah.
on everything. Um, That would be really, really cool. I'd totally buy that.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting stuff. Yeah, I think that game's gonna look beautiful. I think they'll go all out.
I hope so. It's just the word remastered. Just I don't know. Gives me bad vibes. You know.
Yeah, you don't like that word,
No.
do you? You have a funny relationship with it. It's generally misused.
One of my absolute. And I know you're
Pet hates.
sick and tired of hearing this. Not you, the listener. You, the listener, are always
Me,
eager to
Jack.
hear what we have to say. But
It's a very specific thing to have heard so much from your mouth, but carry on.
um, one of my most anticipated games, except for Cyberpunk, because that's God tier, is Xenoblade Definitive Edition, and that has the worst name for that I've seen in a game for a very, very long time. It's like it's a remake. Like the game looks insane, but they're calling it Definitive Edition. Why not call it something awesome? Like, why don't you call it Xenoblade Remake? Call it Xenoblade Light Guardian Edition or something cool, not
Yeah,
Definitive Edition.
it's pretty vanilla.
Anyway,
Call it the Reignited trilogy.
that's cool. That yeah, like Reignited
Yeah,
trilogy. It's like
an
I
insane
wanna burn
trilogy.
up some
Good
baddies,
branding.
you know?
Yeah, the Spyro way.
I mean, insane trilogy doesn't get me
Yeah,
as
it's pretty
hyped, but
funny.
Reignited, baby.
Yeah, it's the same for me just because Spyro was more my game. But yeah, good times.
That's it for news. Um,
And that's the
and
news.
so now we're gonna have our sponsor slot. Uh, if you're
Oh, it's our first ever sponsor, ladies and gentlemen.
if you're hearing me talking right now, then that means that the sponsor
Yeah.
was unsuccessful. In which case, enjoy your ad-free podcast. uh, so
Is that how it
yeah,
works?
you paste it on top, and it automatically like puts a hole in the podcast.
Well, if it's unsuccessful, we could just edit this bit out.
No, because we don't you do it in the post. As in you upload the podcast to the internet. I mean, I guess I could edit it out, but this is more entertaining.
Yeah, people would rather listen
I
to
mean,
this in
what
fairness.
we're talking about right
Right, on
now
to
is
the next
far better
segment.
than an advert.
It's legit voices. What's next, Jamie?
I want to hear about what you've been watching.
Talk about some games. What I've been watching first, okay. What have I been watching? I watched It,
Ooh,
Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. A bit random, but I just watched them, so I'm going to talk about them.
please do.
So I saw It Chapter 1 at the... Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I saw It Chapter 1 at the cinema when it came out, and I very much enjoyed it. Considering I'm a big old wuss, you know this. I'm terrible with horror games and horror films and everything. I'm bad with horror
That
in
always
general.
surprises me.
So, well, I'm such a wuss.
Every time it surprises me. Yeah, I always forget.
I mean, I put myself through it. I do enjoy it a lot more nowadays. I find the entertainment factor, the thrill, but I enjoy it because it's not that scary for a horror
Yeah,
film.
definitely. Yeah.
It's very fun. It's quite formulaic, which kind of takes away from it after a while. You kind of get this kid's scared, then this kid's scared, then this kid's scared. But I like the film a lot, despite its flaws, and I think that the child cast are really incredible,
Oh yeah.
especially Eddie. Eddie's the best. And yeah, I'd never seen the second one. My parents had never seen any of them, so we watched both of them back to back the other night. And yeah, the second one was good too. I'd say it was worse than the first, and maybe more formulaic, but it was still fun.
Okay.
And I was extremely impressed with the adult actors in comparison to the child actors. That was like Eddie especially. To mention Eddie again, Eddie's the what's the word for it? Kleptomaniac, is that it? When you're like he's like really afraid of germs and stuff. I don't think that is what that
Kleptomaniac
is. I think
is someone who likes to steal stuff.
Yeah. So that's terribly wrong. I'm trying to remember my my Sims traits, but I cannot remember. Let's go with germaphobe.
Okay.
But yeah. The guy who played Eddie, I am convinced, the adult who played Eddie in the second one, I'm convinced is the child actor who has travelled back in time from the future, because it looks so
Wow.
much like him, to the point where there's a shot in the movie where it shows the adult man's face and it does like a fade transition into the child actor's
Sorry,
face just to show how
did you
similar they
say
look.
Eddie?
It's
I'm gonna look it
Eddie.
up.
Yeah, look it up, look it up. Just search it Eddie, I don't know, adult child.
Oh wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hypochondriac, that's the word, hypochondriac. Yeah, there's some good pictures there. Bill Hader was good as Richie. There's a lot of good stuff.
Oh wow.
Even Ben. So Ben is he's like the fat kid in the first It, and then in the second one he's like big and buff, like he's proper got in shape. But even Ben, the actor who plays the adult, looks like the kid.
Huh.
If the kid got big and buff, like his basic face structure is there. It's really good. James McAvoy is probably the least like his child
Sure.
actor, but obviously it's just we want to get James McAvoy in our film. I guess you could say the same about Jessica Chastain. Yeah, it was good fun. They're not too
I've
scary. The second one's even less subtle, which makes it less scary.
I've not seen
But
the
I'd say
second
that
movie, so I'm
yeah,
like what everything that you've said so far is kind of what I assumed based on the trailer, which is why I haven't seen it yet.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. It's all pretty much what you
okay.
expect. It's fun. They get the kids back for some flashback sequences as well. There's a few other little bits.
Okay.
Yeah, you're probably not going to be too scared, and you don't really need to see the second one, but
I'm a bit of
good
a bit
times.
of a scare junkie when it comes to horror movies. I really do want them to be
Yeah,
terrifying and good, but
yeah.
uh, I want them.
There's a specific bit in the second one where there's one thing that happens. It's like something happens in the background and it's quite spooky, like ooh. But then immediately after, it's followed with like a big CGI monster running at the camera, and I think
Oh,
that perfectly demonstrates why it's not that scary, because the first bit's quite subtle and creepy and like oh what's that, but then it's as soon as the subtlety is broken,
the fir-
it's just a bit more
the first
silly,
one,
which I don't even mind. It's just
the first one
silly.
had a very frustrating formula for how they scared you, and it wasn't scary because of that.
Yeah, it was always the same.
It was like
Yeah.
it was. I don't know if it's because I have watched a lot of horror movies by this point. I did kind of throughout uni seek them out and watch them with my house like every night.
Yeah.
um, and
Yeah.
I don't know if it could be definitely because of that, but I felt with it they had this very very samey way that they scared you. It was like
Oh,
I can't
it's really
explain it. Like
formulaic.
the monster, the it creature would kind of he'd be there in the distance. Characters go what? They'd look.
Mm,
The camera would zoom in. The person would squint, and then the camera goes away. And
yeah.
the camera returns to the character. The it creature's behind them. They turn around, and then the it creature will do something
He's
insane.
gone.
Like the special effects, at least in the first one, I think are awesome. But the it creature
Yeah.
does something crazy, like shakes around and I don't know, his head like goes crazy and his teeth come out, and then you watch the person run out. And it's like, what happened down there, man? Like, because the clown just went like full demon, and you just ran away. What? And that happened. That
Oh
happens.
yeah,
That
that's
happens like
it.
10 times. No.
Yeah, well, that is in terms of the mythology that makes sense, because Pennywise's whole thing is like he feeds off of
Yeah,
fear, so he doesn't want to kill the kids. Like he doesn't want to kill them quick, at least. He wants to scare them for as long as
that is
possible, which is why
true.
it's actually excusable that he doesn't kill them immediately. Unlike a lot of horror films where it's like, why didn't they just do that?
You know what?
But
You know what? You're right. That is actually incredibly smart.
yeah, no, it makes sense, but I think your criticism is valid in terms of scaring the audience, because you see it a lot of times to the point where it's like, I know what's going to
Yeah.
happen. And that's why, for me, I frame it in more kind of a like Stranger Things 80s nostalgia fun movie rather
I like
than
that.
like
Definitely.
a scary
That's
movie,
a
I
good way
guess.
of watching that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. There's some shocking moments as well, stuff that doesn't happen in the book. Like, I'm pretty sure Georgie's arm doesn't get bitten off in the book or in the 90s TV movie.
Yeah, that's really early on as
Um,
well. It's really horrific.
yeah, like really sets the mood. They also leave out the child orgy that
Yeah.
happens in the book in the sewers.
Yeah.
That's a real thing that Stephen King wrote. I reckon that's the reason he says he doesn't remember writing it, because he was high on cocaine. Probably because he was completely ashamed of
Oh
himself.
man.
Oh
Yeah, I'm
man.
really surprised
But
I got
yeah.
past editors.
It's all... Oh, the 80s.
Yeah.
80s, 70s? When was it written? I'm not sure. Do you know the channel Pretty Much It on YouTube?
No.
It's quite funny they're named Pretty Much It, because I'm
I was
talking about
thinking it was
this.
related.
Um, yeah, they just do like movie commentaries about different things. They're really funny, I think. Um, but obviously, I did my standard thing of watching the movie and then just watching things about it on YouTube, just to
Yeah.
continue the consumption of media. But they make some really funny points about the first one, about it being like strangely problematic. There's just some really funny changes. Like in the book, Mike, the black kid, is like the historian. He gathers a lot of the intel and stuff. But in the film, they give that part to the fat kid Ben, and they give Mike nothing
Oh.
as a replacement. One thing they do give Mike is a gun, and that's pretty much it.
Hmm.
And there's also a bit where where what's her name? The girl gets like kidnapped by Pennywise and taken to the sewers. It's like a damsel in distress that needs saving. I'm pretty sure that doesn't happen in the book
Oh.
either.
Okay. I should watch a video
But
actually.
then
I I should read the book because I'm really
I
interested
want to
in
read the
the
book.
mythology and how it's kind of like the whole mythology behind it, and it's kind of Lovecraftian, and I love
Oh, definitely,
Lovecraftian
definitely.
things. And they're really interesting.
Yeah, Lovecraftian horror is really interesting. Yeah, I'd like to read a lot of Stephen King's books. All of his mythology is very interesting. The Dark Tower
He
series and stuff.
he
I've read a lot of his short
is one
stories.
of the best authors, um,
Mm.
certainly of our time. He probably is the best author of our time, um,
I
and
would say so. I
he's
mean,
probably one
the
of the
quality
greats.
to quantity ratio.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
who else spits out that much and has it be
Yeah,
consistently incredible? So cool.
yeah. I mean, not that I've read many of his books, as I say, but there's never been kind of a noticeable
No,
drop in quality
I need to do more reading in general.
I'm aware of. Yeah, it's very interesting. Do you want to go on to what you've been
Yeah,
watching?
sure.
Move things along a bit.
Have to excuse me. I've just
Yeah.
been passed a piece of freshly baked flapjack.
Oh, that's very exciting.
Right.
Mm.
So, so well, I'll do what I did last time. So, um, I won't talk about it, but Better Call Saul season 5 is now finished, which means the
Oh
next
yeah,
season is now the last one, which is really exciting. But I won't go into
it's
that.
time for me to catch
You
up, I
definitely
guess.
should, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But other things I've been watching. So again, British dramas. I
Oh
watched
boy, British
the first
dramas.
season of Whitechapel,
Oh
which
yeah.
um, purely because of Steve Pemberton being in it. I've basically been making my way through different things that he's in
Yeah,
because they all seem to be
he's a
consistently
good
great
one.
quality.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I
I
think
watched
so.
it at the perfect time because I'm watching that and Inside Number Nine concurrently, and there's a reference, like a huge reference to Whitechapel in one of the most recent episodes of Inside Number Nine. Uh,
Oh
yeah,
really?
Steve Pemberton's character gets out the Jack the Ripper book that he uses in Whitechapel, and it's a whole like Jack the Ripper moment. And it's just there you go. It's just a massive,
Yeah, that's pretty
massive Easter
funny.
egg thrown in there. So good.
Oh man, that's
Uh
what creative control gets you.
yeah, I know. Oh, it's so just a little aside for how cool it must be to write and star in a show like that. And
Oh yeah,
also,
for sure, for sure. It's like the Always Sunny guys. Yeah,
it's funny because when you write and star in something and it's really good, then it's just good vibes.
mm,
If you write and star in something
yeah,
and it's abysmal, people really don't like you. It's like, well, you thought you could do it all, but you can't.
yeah. That's actually very true. Adam Sandler immediately comes to
Yep.
mind.
The first person that came to my mind was his name, Tommy Wiseau.
Dax Shepard,
Um,
Tommy Wiseau, but people don't. People love Tommy Wiseau.
that they do,
I guess that's because he made something great.
they do now. Yeah, I haven't got this. I haven't got this. Sorry, can you just give me 1 second? Sorry, look,
Yeah.
tiny pause. I have horrendous hay fever at the moment.
Oh God, that's not very
No,
nice. You sure it's not COVID
pretty sure I've had
19?
it for like 3 weeks.
You thought we wouldn't mention it for this 40 minutes, folks? We did it.
Oh yeah, no, that's not going. This is not going in. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I am actually kind of slightly dying. 1 sec. Okay,
That's
I was
fine.
gonna. I've been wearing.
Avoid that.
So for those listeners who those listeners who are listening, I have been wearing
Oh, not many.
a head apparatus this entire time, but it's now a little bit too hot for my head, so I'm going to take it off.
Good plan.
Now we're back.
That's what you meant when you said you're wearing something funny that I won't be able to
Yeah.
see.
So if you're watching on one of our
The
listening
listeners won't be
platforms,
able to see it either.
what was that? Sorry.
The listeners won't be able to see it either. They're gonna have to watch the podcast on YouTube to see what
Exactly,
stupid thing
which is
you're wearing.
why our second sponsor, or first, depending on what happened earlier, is Openly Beta. So we we make YouTube videos too. Come and watch us on YouTube.
There you go.
If you are watching on if
They
you
paid
are
us a lot of
watching it
money
on
for this sponsor
YouTube,
spot.
go and watch us on other platforms where you don't see our faces. Even though
We're sponsored simultaneously by Openly Beater's YouTube and Openly Beater's audio-only podcast services.
we're pretty big league. We've got
Take your
quite a few
pick.
sponsors.
Oh, huge league.
I won't lie to you though, I'm now exhausted on what I've been watching. It hasn't been that much recently
That's fine.
compared to last week.
That's fine because we've been banging on for a long time, so it's probably a good time to move along to games.
Talk
The
about
meat.
the meat. Talk about what you've been playing, and it can't be
People come
Animal
for the
Crossing or
games.
Minecraft, which I know you've been
Okay, that's
playing.
fine. I will quickly plug the Minecraft server tour, which is coming up very. Actually, no, it will already be out most likely, episode 1, by the time this is aired. So if you want to see what we've been doing in Minecraft, you can watch a video about it. But besides
I
that,
personally am
I haven't been
extremely
playing.
excited to watch that video.
It's very funny. I think it's got some special guests. I haven't been playing anything else, Jamie. I've just been playing Animal Crossing and Minecraft. I did a video on Slavario or Sliver.io. So I played that. I like Sliver.io a lot, and it got me thinking about how that was the first game in the rise of .io MMOs, which kind of plague all app stores on all phone operating systems. Most of them are pretty terrible and fill you with ads. But Sliver.io doesn't. It allows you to just be a worm and sliver around.
I
So
I was addicted just to the video that you put out, let alone actually playing it. I was watching it like, go on, get him.
You know what? Not to toot my own horn, because I was pretty proud of that video, but I've actually had like a couple friends who've been like, "Oh my god, Sliver.io is the best thing." Like, I feel like I've reinvigorated people's love for the game. I've even got an offer from a friend to do a one-on-one video where we compete against each other for it, and I think maybe me and you should do the same.
That's a really fun idea. Oh, here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Sliver.io, it's a great quarantine
It's
game.
a live concoction of new content for your ears to listen to.
This is how it starts. There we go. One thing I will say I'm glad Sliver.io produced was Whole.io on the App Store, wherein you play as a whole and you have to swallow things to become a bigger whole. I showed you that once. That's a fun mobile game.
That was like really addictive. I really like that game a lot. That
Again,
was like
it fills you with
Katamari.
ads.
That's what that reminded me of.
It was kind of Katamari-ish. Instead of rolling, you just swallow. It's kind of a bit of an issue because there's 3 maps, and once you figure out what to do on each map from any starting position, it becomes really easy. Yeah. And there's also a thing on a lot of those games. There's quite an interesting YouTube video about this. I'll try and remember what it was. But it's basically saying about how all of those games are just filled with bots, and they just pretend that they're players.
Whoa, yeah, I can imagine that.
So a lot of the time,
wow.
you're just playing yourself, and it's like, oh, this is easy, and then it's like, I don't know, it just gets boring because you're just playing bots.
Oh,
But yeah, I guess it's not inherently an issue if you don't mind playing against
Nintendo
bots.
did that with Mario Kart Tour, except instead of playing against some bots, you only played against bots.
I think I remember that, because weren't they like, oh yeah, you definitely play against real people?
No, they never said that, but they made it.
Oh,
they
did they
made
not?
it bloody look like it. They would have like
Okay.
generic looking usernames above Mario, like different characters' heads. So it'd be like, oh, it's Mario driving around, but instead of saying Mario above its head, it'd be like, Snake Lord 5. How deceptive is that?
That's what they do. There's like databases online that are just, you can just download them, and they're just filled with fake bot names, basically.
Awful.
I prefer to play Mario Kart Online on the Switch, and you play against like a me called Dad, and you know that it's a 5-year-old playing on their parents' accounts, and then you blue shell them and destroy them.
Yeah, Dad always ends up going backwards, or like you just see him at the starting line. It's just kind of milling around.
He's playing to a skill level to the extent where you know this is a very young child.
Oh, I had some really great memories when I was a kid. Not in racing games, in fairness, because this isn't possible at racing games. But in having people like help you out when they realise that you're clearly a noob is really, really wholesome, and I love that people actually do that.
Yeah.
Another kid that meant so much.
Cute.
Just like, oh, yeah, thanks.
It's very funny. It's very nice.
Right.
What have you been playing, Jamie?
I'll give you a quick update on Final Fantasy 14, in which I've been playing a lot of.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I've now beat the main story, and I'm now on to the expansion content, um, which took
Ooh.
me a clean 98 hours. So yeah, that's that. Uh, in other game news, I've been playing Doom Eternal, which
Yeah.
um, I've only been able to play in short bursts because it's an incredibly stressful game. Uh, I,
Yeah, it does look
uh,
it.
it's like it's distilled panic in a game, and
It's not quite Animal Crossing in that sense, is it?
no, uh, it's like super slick, really fun to
Yeah.
play, really hard. Like this is a really like hardcore game. I will say actually, I say it's hard. It's deceptive. It's not as hard as you think. If you look back at how many times you've actually died, well, I mean, for me anyway, I haven't died. I haven't
Yeah.
died that many times. But the game makes you
Yeah.
feel like you are on the verge of dying basically all the time. So,
I love the idea that it takes like one shot to make the screen go fully red, but you still got like maximum
oh
health.
no, seriously. So, have I gone into? I don't want to repeat old ground. Have I been through Doom with you before?
Yeah, not on the
Okay.
podcast
Do
though.
you mind if I just quickly retread that?
Give me a little talk about Doom.
Um.
I mean, I know a lot, but the viewers might not. Listeners.
So the main panic and fear. So I do think that
Yeah.
the last 25% of your health does seem to go down a hell of a lot slower than the first 75%, um, which could
Yeah.
desperately be it. But
Yeah, could be intentional.
um, you get ammo by chainsawing basically trash zombies in half,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
and
Chop them up.
that's a resource that takes quite a while to restore. Or you
Mm.
can find fuel canisters occasionally, but usually you just wait for it to restore because they're not that hard to easy to find. Or you, but then the
Yeah.
majority of the time you're going to be looking for health because you're always low on health. And the only way to do that is
Yeah.
to melee zombies or demons, or whatever. They're actually demons, but some of them are zombies.
Yeah. As is Doom.
And the only way to do that is to shoot them enough so that they then flash orange and blue, and then you can go up to them and tear them
Yeah.
apart and get your health. So you've got this insanely clever level design. It's in a very bizarre way. The game is like a fast-paced puzzle game. In that
Yeah.
you
Fair.
all the heavy demons have very defined roles, and they all
Mm.
have a specific gun that is going to be good against them. So you have there's a big old
Yeah.
spider demon with a turret above its head that shoots at you. Well, you look at that and go, right, I don't have, I can deal with that spider, but he's really powerful. He's got a turret. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run up to him, fire a grenade or a sticky bomb using the shotgun underarm attachment thing. Fire the bomb,
Yeah.
the sticky bomb at its turret. That's going to blow off the turret. But you've done that. There's no need to wait around. You don't stand there waiting for it to blow up. You know that you've just attached it.
Mm.
It's like, right, turn around, zoom fast, like quickly sprint out. Because there's like a dash button as well. And like you're always
Yeah.
in the air jumping around and stuff. So you quickly dash away. You know in your head, all right, the spider can't shoot me anymore. But that's not the priority, because the priority is the massive demon with the hammer who's coming after you. And I need to pepper him with a few rocket launchers. Oh my god, there's an
Yeah.
invisible guy to the left of me, and I know that he's good with a plasma gun. And he has a shield, and I know plasmas
It's like a
can go
strategy
through
game.
shields, so I use that on him. remembering the spider is paralyzed from the shot of the grenade, so I need to remember to then next go to him. It is for real.
This is all in a 4-second interval.
No, really, it really is. It really is like a puzzle game, which is why, although on the game looks beautiful and stuff, and the environments are cool, but on the surface level, you go for basically there's platforming sections which are genuinely really fun, but the majority of the game is going basically from fighting arena to fighting arena, and it's disguised, to look really cool, but they're basically, and although it throws the same enemies at you, I say the same, there's still quite a lot of variety, but they throughout the whole game you see the same ones over and over again, but it's the way it's like the combination in which they throw them out at you and the number of them completely changes each combat situation because of how
really
different they are and how you have to approach each combat. Really cool.
But it is cool.
That is big brain time, okay? And that is not have not been able to play Doom Eternal. The longest time I played Doom Eternal was on the stream I did for Openly Beta, which was 2 hours.
Yeah.
Usually I can only play it for 1 hour.
It fried your brain.
I am mentally and physically drained.
That's so funny. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Right.
It's very clever. It's very good game design.
So that's what I've been playing.
Yeah, Doom Eternal. What a world. Not quite Slavaria. Or Minecraft or Animal Crossing.
It isn't quite like that, is it? No. So, the podcast is ending on a similar note to the last one, in that I do want the last section to be more of like a discuss a hot topic. But the podcast has gone on for a nice length of time, I think. And I want to think about wrapping things up soon. I am gonna throw out a cool thing though.
Do it.
Elon Musk and Starlink. This is completely different. This is not game related. This is real life related.
It's tech. It's close.
You see, have you seen Starlink?
I've seen a fair bit on Starlink.
Have you seen it with your own eyes?
Oh no, I haven't. Sorry, no. I know they've passed tonight.
I saw it last night. It was really cool.
Yeah, I didn't look tonight, but I looked last night and I missed it. My family actually, they're talking about it now. YouTube viewers will see me looking down every now and then. My family had a little satellite viewing session not long ago, and I've actually got some pictures here of all the satellites passing.
Oh, cool.
It is really interesting, yeah. It's funny because it's kind of like free publicity for Starlink and for SpaceX. But they're just floating
doesn't
by.
That freak you out? How?
What, just seeing them floating by?
Yeah. How? And this is like a basic thing, I'm not satellites aren't new, but don't you think it's really quite eerie how some bloke who on the other side of the planet, who you might not know about, has launched these big things into space that everyone can see. Obviously not everyone on Earth, but people who are in the trajectory of it can see.
And they can see us.
And I just find it mind-blowing that someone can change the night sky like that in such a significant, cool way from the other side of the Earth.
It is interesting.
You
say it's eerie, but it could also be seen as inspiring.
Yeah. Maybe that was a bit negative.
He's just a civilian.
He is quite inspiring as well, yeah.
Yeah.
He wants to launch 48,000.
It is crazy, though. It is crazy.
Here's a question, Jack.
Yeah.
I genuinely I don't know. I don't know the answer to this. If he's launching 48,000 satellites, is that not going to change, at least for a few decades, is that not going to just completely change the skyline for like permanently, and no one has the ability to opt in?
What do you mean, like just the night sky in general?
Yeah. If there's 48,000 satellites, that means that every single night.
48,000 is a lot.
That means every night there's going to be a line of satellites going past every second. Like, wait, not every second, every like 30 seconds.
I don't know the maths there, but I feel like despite it being 48,000, I feel like it's not going to have as big an impact as we would think, purely because of the scale of Earth.
Well,
I have absolutely no idea. I am not well educated in this sort of way, in a lot of ways, to be honest. But I feel like it's not going to massively affect, I don't know, stargazing. Probably the best example of what would be affected by this.
I think there's going to be lots of issues. So
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I feel like this is all stuff that would have had to heavily been thought about. And I know there was a lot going into this, going against this sort of thing, that he had to really push against.
Okay.
I mean, didn't he have to? He had to also kind of agree this thing where, while they were, as much as they were sending satellites up, they would also have to clear space debris that's already up there. I'm pretty sure that's a thing.
So astronomers are, but a lot of them are really angry because this is going to be a nightmare for them. They already have to deal with satellites reflecting off the sun and into their telescopes. If you have these things traveling around the world at all times, that's going to be really, really difficult. The next thing is what you just said. They're adding 48,000 more pieces of large debris circling the planet, which I know is already more than 48,000 pieces of debris, but it's still significant. But I do honestly think that the whole idea of Starlink is to have a global internet solution, right?
Yeah.
Meaning, actually, 48,000 satellites going around the Earth, you will see them every so often, because if it's...
Oh, can I just say it's 42,000?
Okay.
Just to stop any people in the comments.
Angry comments.
That one.
The Astronomers Union attack openly beta.
Not uninformed.
Do not follow this channel.
I can see the headlines.
That's what all astronomers sound like. There we go. That will upset a large portion of the people.
That'll upset even more astronomers, even though you're trying to defend them now.
I just think that it's an interesting thing to think about how.
It is, and I am currently reading an article whereby astronomers are saying it potentially threatens the science of astronomy itself and tremendously complicates our job. So I guess there is a lot more to that. I was initially thinking less astronomers and more just, your average layman walking around looking up at the sky. But
I mean, that is a thing too.
Yeah,
it's not
48,000.
It's not actually something that would bother me, but I do think there's a question to be asked about whether it's okay for someone in another country to permanently alter the skyline of the entire planet.
No, it is interesting. Someone can have that sort of power over the night
sky.
Yeah. Very, very strange. And, we already have enough issues with light pollution and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, light pollution will help it. You won't be able to see them.
We need more light pollution.
Pollution,
so you can't
really.
See anything at all.
That's been a solution. All this COVID-19 nonsense, making the world a less polluted place. Let's bring back industry.
Oh man, the world is so clean right now.
So on that note, I would like you to conclude this podcast for me, please, Jack.
I would like everyone to look out at the night sky now and hold that memory in their heads while they can. I would also like everyone to know that when we were talking about Crysis Remastered earlier, I got up a picture of a tortoise in Crysis Remastered on my screen, And I've just realised I've been staring at that tortoise for the past hour and 20 minutes. That's all I have to say about that.
Should we call it the end?
Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay safe and wash your hands. We are Openly Beer. I love you.